Hello there, and welcome to The Sleepy Scholar. Tonight's journey takes us down into the vastness of the breathing world of the Amazon rainforest. We will move with the slow, deliberate pace of the river itself, gliding beneath a canopy that holds the secrets of millions of years of patient evolution, a place where the air itself is heavy with the scent of damp earth and unseen blossoms. The Amazon, often called the planet's lungs, is not merely a collection of trees and water. It is a single, immense and self-regulating entity, a sleeping giant whose very existence reshapes the atmosphere of the entire globe. Allow your mind to leave the constraints of the ceiling above you and float upward, past the highest branches, to rest on the quiet, immense scale of this green world. If you enjoy these quiet explorations, consider subscribing so you can easily return here whenever you need to rest. For now, get comfortable. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let's begin. The Amazon rainforest is home to more than 40,000 plant species, representing a silent botanical treasury for the entire planet. This astounding biological density means that within a single acre, or roughly half a hectare, one can often find more tree species than exist in all of Europe, a profound testament to the power of constant warmth and abundant water. The diversity is not chaotic, but organized, with towering emergence reaching for the sun, a dense mid-canopy layer filtering the light, and a perpetually shaded understory where many silent pharmaceutical secrets may still reside undiscovered, waiting patiently for the moment the scientific mind is ready to approach them respectfully. This layered green architecture ensures that every drop of rain and ray of sunlight is utilized in a spectacular living competition that paradoxically creates balance, turning the fierce scramble for resources into an unparalleled collective strength. The entire forest sleeps beneath the vastness of the sky, a green cathedral where evolution has written its most complex and beautiful sermon across time. The Amazon River system releases enough fresh water into the Atlantic Ocean every second to supply the needs of a city the size of New York for an entire year. This colossal outflow, a breathtaking average of 7.4 million cubic feet per second, or about 209,000 cubic meters per second, represents nearly 20% of the fresh water flowing into the world's oceans, making it a true liquid giant. The river's steady, immense flow is a final, slow breath, exhaled by the massive basin, draining rainwater and mountain meltwater that began its journey thousands of miles inland. This persistent, deep volume of water is so powerful that it measurably dilutes the ocean's salinity up to 100 miles, or about 160 kilometers offshore, effectively carving a vast freshwater sea into the marine environment. The great river is the enduring lifeblood of the basin, moving with the patient majesty of geologic time, a liquid conveyor belt carrying nutrients, sediment, and the quiet promise of sustained life to the deep blue sea. A single square kilometer of Amazonian forest can host more than 750 species of trees and 1,500 species of higher plants, embodying a profound concentration of life. This staggering biodiversity is often attributed to the region's long-term climatic stability, a gentle, nurturing environment that has remained relatively unchanged by ice ages, allowing life to diversify and specialize in countless tiny, intricate niches over millions of years. The immense complexity ensures that any disturbance is swiftly countered by surrounding life forms, creating a powerful, flexible resistance that the ecosystem holds like an invisible shield against instability. Within this tiny, measured space, the quiet work of natural selection unfolds continuously, presenting an endless library of specialized forms, each plant standing in silent dedication to the survival of its lineage. This green abundance is a continuous performance of earthly creativity, a patient, deep-rooted symphony that whispers the ultimate value of difference and interconnection. The Amazon rainforest actually creates its own rainfall through the massive process of transpiration, essentially generating a flying river of moisture. This invisible atmospheric flow is the collective exhalation of trillions of leaves, as water vapor is released from the canopy into the air after being drawn up by the root systems, lifting incredible quantities of moisture above the trees. Scientists estimate that this atmospheric river carries more water than the Amazon River itself, moving westward, where it eventually condenses and falls again as rain over the Andean slopes and the distant central and southern regions of South America. The majestic cycle demonstrates the forest's immense power, showing it not merely as a passive receiver of climate, but as an active, living architect of its regional weather patterns, drawing up the moisture from the earth and gently releasing it back to fall upon the distant lands that share its quiet presence. The immense scale of the Amazon rainforest covers about 2.1 million square miles, or approximately 5.5 million square kilometers. Spreading across 9 different South American countries, this vast, unbroken expanse of green is so large that it is often best understood by comparison, occupying a space nearly the size of the continental United States, a silent, continuous green sea, while the vast majority, nearly 60%, resides within Brazil. The forest's complex ecological influence flows without regard for human-drawn lines, touching the lands of Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Bolivia, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. This shared natural heritage connects disparate nations under a single, overarching biological banner, demanding a collective stewardship of this quiet, breathing world that transcends borders. The forest rests, an ancient, magnificent tapestry woven from root and leaf, its presence a quiet, binding promise of life across the equatorial lands. The Amazon River used to flow westward into the Pacific Ocean until the rise of the Andes Mountains slowly reversed its course millions of years ago. This geological drama saw the gradual uplift of the colossal Andean chain, a slow, majestic continental collision that acted as an immense dam, patiently blocking the ancient river's passage and causing its waters to pool and eventually spill eastward toward the Atlantic. The shift created a colossal, shallow inland sea that persisted for millennia, shaping the sediments and biological distribution of the entire basin, before the modern channel finally carved its way across the continent. This ancient history reveals the enduring power of slow-moving geologic forces, showing how the quiet, persistent pressure of continental plates can completely redirect the course of a liquid giant. The river's current easterly flow is thus a memorial to this patient, world-altering transformation, a liquid path carved out of a dream of the sea. The arapaima is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world, capable of growing over 10 feet long, or about 3 meters, and weighing over 440 pounds, or 200 kilograms. This majestic, silvery-scaled creature possesses a fascinating adaptation. It must periodically surface to gulp air, utilizing a modified swim bladder that acts much like a primitive lung, a necessity due to the low oxygen content in some of the seasonally flooded waters of the Amazon. The scales of the arapaima are incredibly tough and mineralized, forming a natural articulated armor that provides protection against the sharp, biting teeth of piranhas, a quiet evolutionary shield against the dangers of its liquid environment. This ancient fish, which has swum in these waters for millions of years, moves with the slow, deep dignity of a time traveler. Its massive form a reminder of the magnificent scale of life that sleeps in the river's depths. The Amazon region holds the world's largest concentration of indigenous peoples living in voluntary isolation, with numerous uncontacted tribes living deep within the quiet, undisturbed forest. These communities represent a profound link to ancient ways of being, remaining deliberately separate from the modern world, protecting their ancestral knowledge and autonomy by choosing the silence of the dense jungle. Their continued isolation is a powerful, silent testimony to the self-sufficiency of the forest, which continues to provide all the resources necessary for a complete life, free from the entanglements of global civilization. Protecting the undisturbed territories of these uncontacted groups is a sacred duty, not merely for their welfare, but as a recognition of the inherent right to cultural self-determination and the value of preserved human diversity. The trees stand as quiet, immense guardians around them, ensuring the deep silence necessary for their traditions to endure and persist through time. The harpy eagle, one of the world's largest and most powerful eagles, hunts silently beneath the Amazonian canopy, its presence an emblem of the forest's supreme power, with talons larger and stronger than the claws of a bear and a wingspan that can reach nearly 7 feet or over 2 meters. This majestic bird rules the skies of the forest, often taking large prey such as sloths and monkeys right from the branches with a swift, silent dedication. Its plumage, a mixture of dark grey and white, allows it to blend seamlessly into the dappled light and shadow of the upper canopy, making it an apparition of quiet, focused predation. The harpy eagle builds enormous stick nests high in the tallest emergent trees, providing a vast platform from which it can survey its sleeping domain. Its silent, focused flight is a beautiful, necessary element of the forest's natural balance, a feathered, living force that ensures the health of the entire ecosystem from its high, remote vantage point. The Victoria amazonica is a magnificent giant water lily whose pads can grow up to 10 feet wide, or around 3 meters, and are strong enough to support the weight of a small child. These stunning circular pads float like immense, quiet green platters on the slow-moving backwaters, their undersides protected by sharp ribs and spines that deter hungry aquatic animals. The flower of this lily is even more remarkable, blooming for only about 48 hours, opening on the first night as white and beautifully fragrant, attracting specific beetle pollinators on the second night. The flower closes, trapping the beetle, and when it reopens, it is magically transformed to a deep pink or red, signaling the successful completion of pollination before it finally sinks beneath the water. This rapid, stunning transformation is a quiet biological miracle, a short, perfect drama unfolding on the calm surface of the water, a testament to the elegant scheduling of nature. The soil of the Amazon rainforest, ironically, is generally poor in nutrients, especially in comparison to the immense amount of life it supports. This apparent contradiction is explained by the incredible efficiency of the forest itself, which holds most of the essential nutrients not in the earth, but in the living biomass. The trees, the vines, and the vast, quickly decomposing layer of surface litter. When a leaf or branch falls, it is immediately broken down by fungi and insects, and the nutrients are swiftly absorbed back into the massive, dense network of shallow roots, completing a nearly closed biological loop before they can be washed away by the relentless rains. This continuous, quiet recycling mechanism, often called the nutrient pump, demonstrates the deep dedication and collaborative genius of the entire ecosystem. ensuring its long-term survival by holding its wealth close, never letting its essential resources rest too long in the earth. The Amazon is one of Earth's greatest sanctuaries for birds, harboring roughly 1,300 to 1,500 species, about 15% of the world's total, from glittering hummingbirds and umbrella birds to macaws that thunder across the sky. The forest layers divide the work of life with exquisite care. Canopy fruit eaters, mid-story insect hunters, understory skulkers that move like shadows. On a single morning walk, the calls can stack in the air like chords. Antbirds ticking, tinnitus whistling, parrots stitching bright threads of sound between trees. This diversity is not an accident, but a long memory of stability. Warmth that rarely falters, water that returns, and habitats that persist long enough for specialization to deepen. Each feather, each beak, is a note in an old, ongoing composition the forest conducts without pause. The Amazon River Basin contains the largest population of freshwater dolphins, including the pink river dolphin or boto, an animal steeped in local folklore and mystery. These intelligent, often solitary cetaceans have adapted perfectly to the winding, shallow river systems, possessing flexible necks and unfused vertebrae that allow them to maneuver gracefully around submerged obstacles in the flooded forest. The pink coloration is believed to come from the continuous abrasion of the skin against the riverbed and the capillary blood flow near the surface, painting them in a soft, ethereal blush that contrasts beautifully with the muddy waters. The boto is often regarded by local people as an enchanted being, a majestic transformer who embodies a quiet, gentle magic in the deep, slow currents of the river. Their quiet, playful presence is a gentle, liquid reminder of the endless wonders hidden within the great river's flow. The Amazon rainforest has an astonishing estimated 2.5 million species of insects, a microscopic world of incredible, quiet complexity that performs countless essential services for the macro ecosystem. This immense, often unseen population of tiny, dedicated lives includes a breathtaking array of beetles, ants, butterflies, and moths, each one a miniature work of evolutionary art. These countless organisms are the true engines of the forest, quietly driving the decomposition of organic material, the aeration of the soil, and the pollination of flowers, ensuring the continuation of the great green cycle of life and death. The silent, tireless dedication of the ants alone, which can collectively outweigh all the other animals in the ecosystem, is a monumental feat of natural engineering. The small, buzzing life of the forest is a constant, humming undercurrent, proving that the greatest power often rests in the most numerous and smallest of beings. The Brazil nut tree, a majestic emergent species, relies almost entirely on the specific ecology of the surrounding pristine forest for its reproduction. These towering trees, which can live for over 500 years, produce hard-shelled nuts that can only be cracked open by the powerful jaws of the agouti, a large, dedicated rodent that then buries the nuts for later consumption, unintentionally planting new trees. Furthermore, the tree's unique flowers can only be pollinated by a specific, robust orchid bee species, which in turn depends on the forest's specialized flora for its existence. This complex, delicate interdependence means that logging a large area immediately stops the quiet reproductive life of the tree, rendering it biologically sterile in isolation. The massive Brazil nut tree stands as a silent, powerful testament to the value of complex, unbroken connection, a majestic monument whose survival depends entirely on the health of its smallest neighbors. The Amazon is home to the Jesus Christ lizard, or the common basilisk, which possesses the miraculous ability to run across the surface of the water without sinking. This mesmerizing feat is achieved through an astonishing combination of speed and specialized large flaps of skin on its hind toes, which spread out to create a temporary, supportive pocket of air as the lizard slaps its foot down quickly. It runs in a silent bipedal dash, its body held almost upright as it flees predators, literally walking on the river's surface for distances up to 15 feet, or about 4.5 meters, before finally diving. This quiet, rapid movement allows the lizard to escape predators like the magnificent harpy eagle and ground-based threats, leveraging the physical properties of the water itself for its survival. The basilisk is a small, quiet, and beautiful reminder that the natural world still holds the most elegant, unexpected solutions to life's persistent challenges. The Amazon River has no bridges spanning its main channel along its entire length, reflecting both its immense width and the challenging, often flooded and soft terrain surrounding it. This absence of human-made crossings across the liquid heart of the continent is not due to a lack of engineering ability, but to the sheer scale and the perpetual slow-moving changes of the river itself, which swells dramatically during the wet season, often submerging vast floodplains up to 30 miles wide, or nearly 50 kilometers. The quiet, powerful river has resisted the imposition of permanent, fixed lines, choosing to remain a vast, dynamic liquid landscape, crossed instead by countless ferries and boats that embrace its eternal motion. The river flows onward, a colossal, quiet testament to the enduring power of natural forces to shape the landscape and dictate the pathways of human passage. The Amazon basin is believed to hold the remains of extensive pre-Columbian civilizations that quietly mastered the art of sustainable agriculture in the challenging ecosystem. Recent archaeological evidence reveals vast engineered landscapes, including geometric earthworks, raised fields, and complex networks of canals, suggesting that large, sophisticated societies once thrived in the deep forest, contrary to previous assumptions of a pristine wilderness. The most enduring legacy of these quiet, ancient people is terra preta, or Amazonian dark earth, a uniquely fertile dark soil created deliberately by enriching the naturally poor soil with charcoal and organic matter, a profound, dedicated act of ecological engineering. These lost civilizations show that human hands can work with the quiet complexity of the forest, leaving behind a legacy of fertile earth instead of ruin, a quiet, rich memory that sleeps beneath the modern canopy. The poison dart frog, a family of small, beautifully colored amphibians, carries neurotoxins potent enough to be used by indigenous hunters to tip their tranquilizer darts. The vibrant, almost jewel-like coloration of these tiny creatures is a powerful, silent warning to potential predators, a beautiful example of nature's defensive artistry known as aposematism. However, the frogs do not produce these toxins themselves. They acquire them by eating specific species of small arthropods, such as mites and ants, that are unique to the forest, a profound, complex chemical connection to the local food chain. When raised in captivity on a different diet, the frogs lose their toxicity, proving that their power is entirely a gift of the quiet, complex Amazonian ecosystem. Their beauty is a majestic, living signal, reminding all who see them that even the smallest creatures can carry a powerful, dedicated secret of the forest. The quiet, massive network of tree roots in the Amazon is essential for holding the thin, nutrient-poor soil together, acting as a profound binding force against erosion. The roots often spread out horizontally in a shallow, intricate mesh rather than diving deep, designed to quickly capture the constantly recycling nutrients near the surface and firmly anchor the colossal, towering trees against the force of tropical storms. This immense, dedicated network is the physical foundation of the forest, a hidden, quiet infrastructure that provides the stability for the whole ecosystem to stand tall and breathe its deep, complex breaths. The ground beneath the canopy is therefore a single, vast, interconnected living floor, a profound testament to the power of shared, subterranean dedication that unites every individual plant into a single, cohesive green shield against the ravages of time and rain. The Amazon's immense biodiversity has led to the discovery of countless compounds now utilized in modern medicine, with many more secrets still locked within the quiet leaves and boughs and barks for millennia. Indigenous communities have possessed a deep, intuitive understanding of the medicinal properties of thousands of plants, knowledge passed down through quiet, dedicated oral traditions that represent an irreplaceable biological library. Substances derived from Amazonian flora have contributed to treatments for conditions ranging from heart disease to malaria, demonstrating the forest's profound, quiet capacity to offer physical solace to the broader human family. As modern science continues its gentle exploration, it is imperative to respect the ancient wisdom of the caretakers of this land, recognizing that the true wealth of the forest lies not in its timber or land, but in its genetic complexity and the patient, life-giving chemistry held within its quiet, green biomass. This living pharmacy rests, awaiting the respectful hands that can unlock its deeper secrets. The largest cat in the Americas, the jaguar, stalks the Amazonian floor and riverbanks with a quiet, majestic grace. Its very presence, a symbol of the forest's untamed wildness. Unlike most cats, the jaguar is an excellent swimmer and often hunts aquatic prey, including caimans and fish, showcasing a powerful adaptation to the watery landscape of the basin. Its beautiful rosette patterned coat provides perfect camouflage within the dappled sunlight, filtering through the dense canopy, allowing it to move with silent, absolute focus, an apparition of quiet power. The jaguar holds a sacred place in many indigenous myths, often representing the spirit of the jungle and the deep connection between the physical and spiritual worlds. When the jaguar sleeps, the forest breathes a little easier, aware that this quiet, formidable monarch is simply resting before resuming its eternal, dedicated vigil over its domain. The immense flooded forests of the Amazon are home to massive schools of piranhas, whose reputation for ferocity is often exaggerated, but whose necessity to the ecosystem is absolute. These ubiquitous fish, often portrayed as ravenous predators, are actually essential scavengers, playing a critical, dedicated role in the rapid consumption of dead and decaying matter, preventing the buildup of organic waste in the warm, slow-moving waters. Their sharp, interlocking teeth are a precision instrument of nature, designed not for indiscriminate violence, but for efficient, swift processing, ensuring the quiet, continuous cleanliness and health of the river system. Their presence ensures that nothing is wasted in the liquid cycle of life and death, turning an end into a swift, immediate new beginning. The piranha swims in vast, quiet dedication, a tiny, necessary architect of the river's self-cleaning efficiency. The Amazon region experiences a dramatic annual flood cycle, where the river's water level can rise by over 50 feet, or nearly 15 meters, completely transforming the landscape. During this massive patient swell, known locally as the Vasia, vast swathes of forest become temporarily submerged, creating a unique aquatic environment where specialized trees and animals thrive. Fish are able to swim and feed directly amongst the submerged lower branches, and many tree species have evolved seeds that float, distributing themselves widely on the slow rising currents to find new ground. This cyclical flooding is not a destructive event, but a necessary, majestic pulse, an annual breath that distributes nutrients and reshapes the biological tapestry of the entire basin. The water moves with a quiet, predictable dedication, reminding all life that change is the most constant, life-giving rhythm of the jungle. The world's largest snake, the green anaconda, silently patrols the shallow, murky waters of the Amazon, an immense, patient coil of pure muscle and quiet power. These colossal constrictors can reach lengths of over 20 feet, or more than 6 meters, and weigh hundreds of pounds, moving through the water with an almost liquid grace that belies their enormous size. The anaconda prefers to wait, submerged and still, relying on its perfect camouflage and an immense, quiet patience to ambush its prey, a true master of stillness in the dense, silent ecosystem. Its quiet, deep dedication to survival embodies the slow, massive power of the earth itself, a heavy, magnificent presence that reminds us of the raw, dedicated forces at work in the deep, ancient corners of the world. The incredible depth of the Amazon's influence extends far beyond the land, creating a unique deep-sea ecosystem at its mouth. The massive plume of fresh water discharged by the river, carrying enormous quantities of sediment and nutrients, creates unique conditions extending hundreds of miles into the Atlantic Ocean. In 2016, scientists discovered a massive, quiet coral reef system thriving directly underneath this plume, a place where marine life adapted to the low light and varying salinity, overturning previous assumptions about the conditions necessary for coral growth. This profound discovery demonstrated that the Amazon's life-giving power extends even into the darkest depths of the ocean floor, showcasing a quiet, complex negotiation between the liquid giant of the river and the vast, silent blue of the sea. It rests, a vibrant, hidden world, sustained by the river's eternal flow. The tiny leafcutter ants of the Amazon are responsible for creating some of the most complex and largest insect societies on Earth. Entire civilizations built on quiet, organized dedication. These ants do not eat the leaves they tirelessly harvest. Instead, they carry the pieces, often weighing many times their body mass, back to their underground nests to cultivate a specific species of fungus that serves as their sole food source. This dedicated, quiet farming is an astonishing example of sustained agriculture in the insect world, predating human farming by millions of years. Their immense underground colonies, which can extend for miles and house millions of individuals, represent an enormous organized manipulation of the ecosystem. The trails they carve in the undergrowth are paths of quiet industry, a continuous flow of dedicated workers moving with a unified purpose that supports the entire massive civilization hidden beneath the roots. The massive kapok tree, often called the mother of the forest, can tower over the canopy, reaching heights of up to 200 feet, or about 60 meters, its vast crown providing a key habitat for countless species. This majestic, iconic tree possesses a wide, massive buttress root system that spreads out from its base, sometimes resembling a series of immense, supportive walls designed to anchor its colossal weight in the shallow, soft soil. The kapok produces a light, fluffy cotton-like fiber from its seed pods, historically used for stuffing and insulation. But its true value is its quiet, profound dedication as a central hub for the life around it. Its immense, towering form stands as a quiet, dedicated sentinel, a majestic pillar around which the smaller, constant dramas of the canopy perpetually unfold. The Amazon basin is the historical origin of the common rubber tree, whose latex-producing properties quietly reshaped global industry and trade during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The milky white sap, or latex, is a complex chemical defense produced by the Hevea brasiliensis tree to seal wounds. But humans learned to harvest and process this substance for immense industrial gain. The rubber boom brought both immense wealth and profound, stressful challenges to the region, highlighting the immense value that the quiet chemistry of a single forest species can hold for the entire world. The tree itself, once the exclusive, quiet treasure of the Amazon, now stands in plantations across the globe, but its deep, original roots remain tied to the complex, dedicated ecology of the deep South American forest. The quiet, immense river flows through a region of the Earth known as the tectonic plate null zone, a place where the massive, slow-moving continental forces are relatively inactive. This geological stability, which contrasts sharply with the nearby, volatile Andes, has allowed the Amazon basin to remain relatively flat and geologically undisturbed for millions of years. This profound, quiet stability has provided the necessary time and continuity for the immense, specialized biodiversity of the rainforest to evolve without the interruption of catastrophic volcanic eruptions or massive, localized mountain building events. The forest rests upon a deep, quiet geological platform, a solid, dedicated foundation that ensures the slow, patient unfolding of life's highest, most complex biological potentials. The sloth, one of the most iconic creatures of the Amazon, moves with an astonishing quiet slowness that is actually a sophisticated, dedicated survival strategy against predation. By minimizing movement, sloths become virtually invisible to sharp-eyed predators like the harpy eagle, blending into the branches where they spend almost their entire lives hanging upside down. Their fur often hosts symbiotic algae, giving them a green camouflaged appearance and providing a small, quiet, dedicated garden that aids in their defense. This intentional, profound dedication to stillness allows the sloth to conserve immense amounts of energy in its low-calorie, leaf-based diet, proving that the quietest, slowest path can often be the most profound and successful in the vast competition of life. The world's largest rodent, the capybara, lives a quiet, semi-aquatic life along the slow-moving banks of the Amazon River and its tributaries. These immense placid creatures, often weighing over 100 pounds or nearly 45 kilograms, are highly social and are almost always found in family groups, moving with a calm, gentle dedication through the flooded grasslands. They possess partially webbed feet, allowing them to swim with great ease, and they can stay submerged for several minutes, using the water as a safe, dedicated refuge from land-based predators. The capybara embodies a peaceful, quiet coexistence with the dynamic, watery environment, a large, gentle animal whose presence lends a calming, stable rhythm to the often chaotic life of the riverbank. The Amazonian canopy is crisscrossed by millions of miles of lianas, or massive woody vines, which climb from the forest floor to the highest peaks of the trees. These strong, flexible structures are not parasitic, but rather opportunists, utilizing the established architecture of the trees to reach the life-giving sunlight without having to expend the immense energy on building thick, self-supporting trunks. They weave a complex, three-dimensional network through the entire forest, creating silent, dedicated pathways for countless canopy-dwelling animals to travel effortlessly between branches and trees without ever touching the ground. This vast, silent web of connecting lines demonstrates the forest's ability to maximize resource use, creating an entire floating city where the pathways are themselves living, dedicated botanical structures. The macaws, the largest and most brightly colored parrots of the Amazon, often congregate at riverbanks known as clay licks to consume mineral-rich earth. This dedicated behavior, which is particularly common in the dry season, is thought to be necessary to neutralize toxins in the fruits and seeds that make up their daily diet, a profound, quiet chemical self-medication. Their presence, a spectacular, loud flash of vibrant red, yellow, and blue against the quiet green background, turns the riverbank into a temporary, dedicated gathering of breathtaking, feathered majesty. This simple, life-saving act of eating the earth connects the brilliant, flying life of the canopy directly to the deepest, quietest strata of the riverbed, proving that the most vibrant life must sometimes return to the most basic, stable elements for its endurance. The tiny, iridescent morpho butterfly of the Amazon possesses a breathtaking blue color that is not created by pigment, but by the quiet, dedicated structure of its scales, a phenomenon called structural coloration. The wing scales are microscopically structured like tiny, layered Christmas trees, scattering and reflecting light in such a precise way that only the vivid blue wavelength reaches the observer's eye. This brilliant, shimmering color is a quiet, elegant trick of physics and light, a purely structural defense that makes the butterflies appear to flash and disappear as they fly. Confusing potential predators, the morpho floats through the sun-dappled air, an apparition of pure non-pigmented light, a beautiful, dedicated living jewel that carries the secret of optical physics on its fragile, magnificent wings. The Amazon basin is believed to hold vast, subterranean aquifers, silent, immense stores of fresh water that represent one of the world's most significant hidden water reserves. The largest of these, the Alto do Chão Aquifer, is estimated to hold volumes of water greater than the entire visible Amazon River flow, resting in quiet, deep storage beneath the surface layers of the forest. This immense, dedicated geological repository acts as a profound, reliable buffer against climatic changes, slowly filtering and holding water that may have fallen as rain centuries ago. The forest stands upon this hidden, cool sea, a quiet, monumental reminder that the earth often holds its greatest and most valuable treasures in the deepest, most secure layers, moving with a geologic patience far surpassing human time. Where river and ocean meet, the Atlantic's incoming tide can rise into the Amazon as a traveling wall, the Pororoca. Rolling upstream for miles, on the loudest nights, it announces itself before it appears, a distant roar that gathers until a brown crest races past mudbanks and bends, lifting driftwood and wrinkling the surface into froth. Heights vary with season and moon, but in peak events, the bore can stand several meters tall, strong enough to reshape shores and stir the river's chemistry as sea and fresh water interlace. It lasts only minutes in any one place, yet its memory lingers in rearranged sandbars and scoured margins. The Pororoca is a reminder that even a giant river yields, briefly, to the pull of distant bodies. The moon's quiet hand tracing its will across the world's largest flow. The unique, silent ecosystem of the Amazonian Igapo forests are permanently flooded lowlands, where the trees stand permanently rooted in the water. These blackwater forests, colored by the tannins released from slowly decomposing leaves, are low in nutrients, but surprisingly high in specialized endemic life forms that have quietly adapted to the submerged conditions. The constant presence of water shapes the root systems and the reproductive cycles of the plants, creating a specialized, beautiful, and dedicated botanical world entirely distinct from the dry upland forest. To float quietly through these submerged, mirrored forests is to witness a profound, dedicated marriage of water and tree, where the distinction between river and land dissolves into a single, breathtaking, liquid landscape. The vibrant, diverse ecosystem of the Amazon supports an immense number of specialized fungi, a quiet, powerful network that is crucial to the entire forest's survival. These often unseen organisms are the ultimate dedicated recyclers, breaking down dead wood and plant matter into reusable nutrients and returning them to the soil in a constant, essential flow. Many fungi also form symbiotic, dedicated relationships with the roots of the trees, known as mycorrhizal networks, acting as a profound subterranean communication system that connects individual plants across vast distances, allowing them to share resources and chemical warnings. The forest rests upon this vast, hidden, intricate web of dedicated life, a massive, silent, living internet of roots and threads that ensures the cohesive, collective health of every towering tree. The quiet, immense pressure generated by the weight of the Amazon's vast water load causes a slight, measurable depression in the Earth's crust in the river basin. As the river swells during the rainy season, the billions of tons of added water subtly pushes the crust downward, only to rebound slightly as the water recedes in the dry season. This minute, quiet flexing of the Earth's surface, a kind of deep, patient geological breath, demonstrates the colossal, dedicated physical impact that the flow of water has on the solid world. The river is so immense that it acts as a quiet, powerful liquid sculptor, slowly, patiently bending the very rock beneath it, a living demonstration of the quiet, deep power of the hydrological cycle. The Amazon is home to the largest species of river otter, the giant otter, which moves through the waters with immense social grace and dedicated, playful energy. These majestic, sleek carnivores can grow up to 6 feet long, or about 1.8 meters, and live in tightly knit family groups, communicating through a complex array of dedicated vocalizations, from soft hums to loud, excited screams. They are highly dedicated hunters, often working cooperatively in a fluid, synchronized ballet to efficiently catch fish, showing a quiet, profound intelligence and sophisticated social structure unique to their liquid environment. Their sleek, powerful bodies are perfectly adapted to the winding currents, representing a liquid, dedicated form of mammalian life that thrives within the very pulse of the river. The rainforest's incredible canopy is home to the quiet, subtle world of epiphytes, which are plants that grow harmlessly on other plants, primarily trees, without drawing nutrients from their host. These dedicated aerial residents include a vast array of orchids, bromeliads, and ferns, which cling to branches and trunks, collecting their water and nutrients directly from the rain, the moisture in the air, and decaying organic debris. By establishing themselves high in the canopy, They gain vital access to the filtered, life-giving sunlight, creating an entire, distinct micro-ecosystem that floats dozens of feet or many meters above the forest floor. The trees stand as quiet, massive, dedicated scaffolding, supporting this secondary world of life, a beautiful demonstration of botanical coexistence and gentle, necessary leverage. The Jesus Christ lizard, or the common basilisk, which possesses the miraculous ability to run across the surface of the water without sinking. This mesmerizing feat is achieved through an astonishing combination of speed and specialized large flaps of skin on its hind toes, which spread out to create a temporary supportive pocket of air as the lizard slaps its foot down quickly. It runs in a silent bipedal dash, its body held almost upright as it flees predators, literally walking on the river's surface for distances up to 15 feet, or about 4.5 meters, before finally diving. This quiet, rapid movement allows the lizard to escape predators, like the magnificent harpy eagle and ground-based threats, leveraging the physical properties of the water itself for its survival. The basilisk is a small, quiet, and beautiful reminder that the natural world still holds the most elegant, unexpected solutions to life's persistent challenges. The Amazon region is the source of many staple crops now grown worldwide, including manioc or cassava, sweet potato, and the pineapple, all of which began their quiet, dedicated evolutionary journey in this complex ecosystem. The diverse genetic material within the wild varieties of these plants represents an invaluable, quiet insurance policy for global food security, offering traits like disease resistance and drought tolerance that may be needed to secure future harvests. This immense agricultural contribution demonstrates the forest's quiet, profound generosity to the broader human family, sharing its botanical wealth across the centuries. The cultivation practices of the indigenous peoples, which often involve quiet, sustained intercropping and small, shifting plots, show a respectful, dedicated stewardship that sustains the forest's health while providing for human need. The incredible depth of the Amazon's influence extends far beyond the land, creating a unique deep-sea ecosystem at its mouth. The massive plume of fresh water discharged by the river, carrying enormous quantities of sediment and nutrients, creates unique conditions extending hundreds of miles into the Atlantic Ocean. In 2016, scientists discovered a massive, quiet coral reef system, thriving directly underneath this plume, a place where marine life adapted to the low light and varying salinity, overturning previous assumptions about the conditions necessary for coral growth. This profound discovery demonstrated that the Amazon's life-giving power extends even into the darkest depths of the ocean floor, showcasing a quiet, complex negotiation between the liquid giant of the river and the vast, silent blue of the sea. It rests, a vibrant, hidden world sustained by the river's eternal flow. The Amazon River system boasts a highly specialized group of air-breathing fish, an adaptation that allows them to survive the annual dry season, when oxbow lakes and side channels often become stagnant and severely depleted of oxygen. Species like the arapaima and various catfish have developed highly vascularized swim bladders or specialized gill structures that function much like lungs, allowing them to quietly gulp air from the surface when the water can no longer sustain their oxygen needs. This quiet, dedicated evolutionary engineering demonstrates the power of life to adapt to the most extreme cyclical changes, ensuring survival even when the aquatic environment seems to fail. The fish rise to the surface for a swift, dedicated breath, a living testament to the endurance of life in the quiet, challenging rhythm of the flooded forest. The quiet, massive network of tree roots in the Amazon is essential for holding the thin, nutrient-poor soil together, acting as a profound binding force against erosion. The roots often spread out horizontally in a shallow, intricate mesh, rather than diving deep, designed to quickly capture the constantly recycling nutrients near the surface and firmly anchor the colossal, towering trees against the force of tropical storms. This immense, dedicated network is the physical foundation of the forest, a hidden, quiet infrastructure that provides the stability for the whole ecosystem to stand tall and breathe its deep, complex breaths. The ground beneath the canopy is therefore a single, vast, interconnected living floor, a profound testament to the power of shared, subterranean dedication that unites every individual plant into a single, cohesive green shield against the ravages of time and rain. The Amazonian canopy is home to the toucans, whose famously large, colorful bills are actually highly efficient, dedicated instruments for regulating body temperature. The immense surface area of the bill, which is surprisingly light because it is filled with honeycomb-like bone structures, is laced with a vast network of blood vessels that the bird can quietly use to dissipate excess heat, similar to how an elephant uses its ears. This beautiful, dedicated structure serves both as a visual signal for mating and as a critical biological tool for managing the warmth of the tropical environment. The toucan rests in the dappled light, its magnificent bill a quiet, living symbol of how evolution often combines beauty and deep physiological necessity into a single, dedicated masterpiece. The Amazon contains vast quantities of the carbon that would otherwise be released into the atmosphere, making it a critical, dedicated force in regulating global climate stability through the process of photosynthesis. The billions of trees quietly and continuously absorb immense amounts of carbon dioxide from the air and store it within their massive trunks, roots, and leaves, effectively acting as the Earth's largest terrestrial carbon sink. The entire forest, therefore, functions as a colossal, living, dedicated sponge, slowly drawing in atmospheric carbon and locking it away in the deep, quiet architecture of its wood and soil. The quiet, continuous dedication of this green giant to the ancient work of breathing is an essential, profound service for the health of the entire planetary atmosphere, a silent, monumental guardian of global stability. The Brazil nut tree, a majestic emergent species, relies almost entirely on the specific ecology of the surrounding pristine forest for its reproduction. These towering trees, which can live for over 500 years, produce hard-shelled nuts that can only be cracked open by the powerful jaws of the agouti, a large, dedicated rodent that then buries the nuts for later consumption, unintentionally planting new trees. Furthermore, the tree's unique flowers can only be pollinated by a specific, robust orchid bee species, which in turn depends on the forest's specialized flora for its existence. This complex, delicate interdependence means that logging a large area immediately stops the quiet, reproductive life of the tree, rendering it biologically sterile in isolation. The massive Brazil nut tree stands as a silent, powerful testament to the value of complex, unbroken connection, a majestic monument whose survival depends entirely on the health of its smallest neighbors. The Amazonian rivers host the electric eel, an aquatic predator capable of generating powerful electric charges of up to 800 volts, a stunning example of bioelectric dedicated weaponry. This immense discharge, produced by specialized muscle cells called electrocytes that are stacked like biological batteries, is primarily used to stun or deter prey and is a crucial tool for navigation in the dark, murky waters. The eel moves through the slow, deep currents, a quiet, liquid generator of focused, invisible power, its very existence demonstrating the quiet, dedicated mastery of life over fundamental physical forces. It is a profound, living embodiment of nature's ability to turn basic chemistry into a startling, highly specialized, dedicated defense and attack mechanism within the hidden world of the water. The giant anteater traverses the Amazonian forest floor and savannas, using its long, sticky tongue and massive, dedicated claws to feed exclusively on ants and termites. This unique mammal can consume tens of thousands of insects in a single day, playing a crucial, quiet, and necessary role in regulating the populations of these vast insect civilizations, thus influencing the overall health of the ecosystem. Its fur often blends seamlessly into the dried leaves and shadows, allowing it to move with a quiet, dedicated stealth despite its size. Its long, tapered snout the ultimate specialized instrument for its unique diet. The anteater moves through the undergrowth, a quiet, dedicated harvester of the smallest lives. Its unique form a testament to the elegant specialization found in the forest's ancient blueprint. The Amazon River can reach astonishing depths of over 300 feet, or approximately 100 meters, in some of its constricted channels, creating vast, quiet canyons beneath the surface. This immense depth, which in places surpasses the height of a 30-story building, ensures the colossal volume of water flows smoothly and quietly eastward, even where the river's width is severely constrained, such as at the Obidos Narrows. This deep, dedicated channel allows large, ocean-going vessels to navigate the river over 900 miles, or about 1,500 kilometers, inland to the city of Manaus, a liquid pathway carved by the dedicated force of the current across the continent's gentle slope. The river moves with the dignity of a vast, submerged presence, its deep, quiet currents carrying the weight of the continent's water with an enduring, silent dedication that shapes global commerce and the very geology of the basin. The strangler fig is a magnificent example of dedicated botanical opportunism in the Amazon, beginning its life as a simple epiphyte high in the canopy. Relying on a host tree for initial support, the fig seed, often deposited by a bird or monkey, sends dedicated roots down the trunk of the host, which slowly thicken and fuse, eventually forming an immense, woody, cage-like lattice that completely envelops the host. This dedicated, slow embrace gradually restricts the host tree's ability to grow and photosynthesize until the host quietly succumbs and decays, leaving the strangler fig as a massive, dedicated, self-supporting tree with a hollow core where the host once stood. This is a quiet, necessary, profound act of natural succession, where one tree's life becomes the dedicated scaffolding for the majestic, enduring form of another, a testament to the persistent, dedicated power of upward growth. The diverse array of tree-dwelling frogs in the Amazon have evolved specialized, dedicated toe pads that allow them to adhere to the smooth, often wet surfaces of leaves and branches with astonishing, quiet tenacity. These dedicated sticky discs are not suction cups, but rather rely on a thin layer of mucus and minute forces of adhesion to maintain their grip, allowing the small amphibians to navigate the high, treacherous world of the canopy with absolute quiet confidence. This specialized, dedicated grip allows the frogs to hunt and reproduce in the safest, most humid upper layers, contributing to the diversity of life far above the dangers of the forest floor. the tiny frogs rest, dedicated masters of vertical movement, their quiet, small bodies held securely by a specialized, subtle mastery of physical forces. The hyacinth macaw, the largest flying parrot species in the world, navigates the Amazonian skies with a dedicated, vivid blue plumage that is both majestic and easily recognizable. These magnificent birds rely on the nuts of only a few dedicated palm species, possessing an immensely powerful, specialized, curved beak that can quietly and efficiently crack open the hardest kernels that other animals cannot access. They often travel long distances in their dedicated search for the correct palm groves, moving with a visible, focused purpose across the immense green mosaic of the forest. The macaw flies, a dedicated flash of vibrant living color against the sky, its existence a profound, quiet demonstration of the dedicated reliance on specific, unique food sources in the complex web of the jungle. The green iguana, a large, dedicatedly herbivorous lizard of the Amazon, has developed the remarkable, dedicated ability to drop great distances from trees without suffering injury when escaping a predator. These large, peaceful reptiles are primarily arboreal, but when threatened, they will plunge into the water below or simply let go, utilizing their dedicated, immense size and muscular control to absorb the impact upon landing in the dense undergrowth. Their diet of leaves and young shoots makes them a dedicated, quiet, necessary component of the forest complex food chain, converting vast amounts of plant matter into sustenance for their own dedicated, enduring life. The iguana rests, a large, dedicated, quiet, green sentinel in the branches, ready to make a sudden, purposeful, dedicated descent into safety if the moment requires. The unique symbiotic partnership between Cecropia trees and Azteca ants is a profound, dedicated mutualistic relationship that ensures the survival of both species in the Amazon. The Cecropia tree provides the entire ant colony with quiet, dedicated shelter within its hollow, segmented stems, and offers a continuous supply of specialized food bodies grown at the base of its leaves. In return, the fierce, dedicated Azteca ants aggressively patrol the tree, defending it from all herbivores and quietly clearing away competing vines and vegetation from the immediate vicinity of the trunk, ensuring the tree receives maximum light. This dedicated living alliance turns the tree into a fortress, a quiet, protected entity whose success is guaranteed by the collective, dedicated ferocity of its tiny, biting inhabitants. The magnificent orchid family is represented by thousands of species in the Amazon, each one a breathtaking, quiet masterpiece of dedicated evolutionary form and color. Often engaging in highly specialized relationships with specific pollinators, these flowers have evolved intricate, unique shapes and compelling scents, which act as highly targeted signals, ensuring that only the correct insect or bird visits the bloom to carry its pollen to the next. A profound, dedicated commitment to reproductive precision. Many grow as epiphytes high in the canopy, catching the filtered light and moisture, turning the upper branches into immense, floating gardens of stunning, quiet beauty. The orchid rests in the humid air, a living jewel whose magnificent complexity is a soft, dedicated whispered secret of the tropical abundance. The dense Amazonian canopy, which acts as a colossal dedicated solar panel, filters out up to 95% of the sunlight, leaving the forest floor in a state of perpetual twilight. This deep, constant shade creates a unique, dedicated climate near the ground, where the air is eternally damp and cool, and only highly specialized, shade-tolerant plants can survive. This profound, quiet filtering effect means that the massive energy of the sun is primarily utilized high above, in the light-hungry canopy, leaving the lower strata to rely on the soft, diffused light that gently penetrates the thick layers of leaves. To stand on the forest floor is to experience a kind of cool, quiet reverence, where the world above is a brilliant, distant memory, and the ground level is held in a state of eternal, dedicated dusk. The Amazonian woolly monkey, a highly intelligent primate, moves with dedicated agility through the canopy, utilizing a powerful, specialized prehensile tail as a crucial fifth limb for grasping and support. This remarkable adaptation allows the monkey to hang, swing, and traverse the high branches with a fluid, liquid ease, navigating the vast network of lianas and limbs with unmatched confidence. The prehensile tail, often stronger than any of its limbs, is a magnificent piece of biological engineering, a dedicated anchor that allows the monkey to reach distant fruits and leaves with focused stability. The woolly monkey swings through the silent upper world, its movement a dedicated, graceful ballet performed across the sky-high platforms of the great green architecture. The phenomenon of river meandering is profound in the Amazon, where the massive, slow-moving currents continually and patiently reshape the landscape by eroding the outer banks and depositing sediment on the inner curves. This constant, quiet dedication to change creates a shifting, dynamic border between land and water, leading to the formation of horseshoe-shaped oxbow lakes, which are quietly cut off from the main river flow as the curve is finally broken. The river flows with a profound, quiet sense of patient dedication, its liquid path constantly seeking the gentlest gradient, a colossal, living demonstration that the most stable power is found in continuous, gentle, unceasing movement. The rainforest air is often filled with the quiet, persistent humming sound of the cicadas, whose synchronized mass emergence and sound production is a dedicated survival strategy. By appearing in immense numbers and filling the air with a unified, overwhelming volume of sound, they maximize the chances that enough individuals will survive predation to reproduce, effectively using noise as a shield for their quiet, essential life cycle. The sound is not chaotic, but a powerful, rhythmic affirmation of life's relentless dedication to continuance, a profound acoustic curtain that rises and falls with the warm, humid air. The quiet, ancient trees listen, their immense patient forms providing the perfect acoustic backdrop for this dedicated annual buzzing proclamation of the sheer scale of insect life. The Amazonian canopy is home to the three-toed sloth, which exhibits one of the slowest metabolic rates of any non-hibernating mammal, a profound, dedicated energy conservation strategy. This extreme, quiet slowness allows the sloth to subsist on a low-calorie, nutrient-poor diet of leaves, maximizing the small amount of energy it gains from its simple meals by minimizing all physical activity. The entire digestive process, which can take up to a month, moves with a profound, dedicated patience, a slow, continuous churn that ensures every nutrient is perfectly extracted. The sloth hangs quietly in the dense, green world, its very existence a gentle, enduring testament to the quiet power of profound dedication to stillness and the elegance of biological efficiency. The Amazonian forests are home to the giant water lily, Victoria amazonica, whose enormous circular pads possess a unique, dedicated structure of reinforcing ribs on the underside. This intricate, almost architectural framework of strong crisscrossing veins allows the large pads to support their own immense weight and the weight of small animals without folding or tearing. Distributing the load across the entire liquid surface, the gentle, buoyant water holds these massive floating structures, which can be up to 10 feet wide or about 3 meters, making them the largest of their kind. This dedicated, quiet engineering of the plant kingdom transforms the water's surface into a temporary green platform, a peaceful, magnificent demonstration of nature's dedicated structural genius. The quiet, persistent motion of the wind in the upper reaches of the Amazonian canopy is largely responsible for the self-pruning of the tree crowns, a process known as crown shyness. This phenomenon sees the mature trees subtly avoiding touching one another, leaving small, dedicated channels or gaps between the crowns that appear like a meandering river when viewed from above. It is believed to be a dedicated mechanism to prevent the spread of leaf-eating insects and diseases, and to minimize the damage caused by high winds as the massive crowns sway in the deep, powerful breaths of the atmosphere. The forest rests, a colossal, quiet network of individual giants maintaining a polite, dedicated distance from their neighbors, proving that separation can sometimes be a dedicated, collective act of profound health. The Amazon region is home to the red-bellied piranha, whose infamous feeding frenzies are highly ritualized and dedicated social behaviors, often triggered only when a large source of food is necessary to sustain the entire school. Outside of these infrequent, intense, communal feeding events, the piranhas spend most of their time moving with a quiet, dedicated, cautious rhythm, avoiding larger predators and foraging for smaller, common prey like insects and crustaceans. The rare, dramatic display of coordinated feeding is a powerful, necessary process of swiftly processing large, available biomass, ensuring that potential waste is quickly and efficiently returned to the cycle of the ecosystem. These fish move in quiet, massive dedication, their collective strength an impressive, dedicated engine for the continuous cleaning and balance of the liquid environment. The immense network of mycorrhizal fungi beneath the Amazonian soil connects individual trees across vast distances, facilitating the dedicated sharing of resources and information. These microscopic fungal threads act as an enormous, dedicated biological internet, extending the root systems of the trees and allowing them to exchange essential nutrients, particularly phosphorus and nitrogen, in a quiet, mutually beneficial partnership. When one tree is damaged or stressed, it can even send quiet, dedicated chemical warnings to its neighbors through this hidden web, preparing them for potential threats. The forest rests upon this silent, deep, dedicated wisdom, a continuous, vast subterranean conversation that ensures the collective health and unity of the entire green community, a profound testament to biological cooperation. The Amazonian river dolphin, the boto, or pink river dolphin, possesses unique, dedicated whiskers and highly flexible flippers that allow it to navigate the flooded forest with superior skill during the high water season. The stiff, sensory hairs on its snout are used to quietly feel for small, hidden fish and crustaceans on the riverbed or within the dense undergrowth of the submerged forest, an essential tool in the murky, low-visibility environment. Its unfused neck vertebrae give it the dedicated, unique ability to turn its head nearly 90 degrees, allowing it to easily maneuver around the submerged tree trunks and lianas. This majestic creature flows through the liquid world, its specialized anatomy a quiet, dedicated masterpiece of adaptation to the ever-changing complex underwater landscape. The Hudson bird of the Amazon basin possesses a unique, dedicated adaptation in its chicks, claws on its wings that allow the young to scramble back up into the trees if they fall, or escape from a predator by dropping into the water. This ancient reptilian-like feature disappears in the adults, but while young, it provides a dedicated, crucial survival mechanism in the wet, dangerous lower canopy. Furthermore, the Hudson has an enlarged crop that functions much like the stomach of a cow, allowing it to digest large amounts of leaves through a dedicated fermentation process, making it one of the few birds capable of such a specialized herbivorous diet. This strange, beautiful bird is a living memorial to deep evolutionary time, quietly demonstrating a dedication to survival through specialized, inherited features. The Amazon is home to the bullet ant, whose sting is rated as one of the most painful in the world, a dedicated, powerful neurotoxin used as a defensive mechanism against predators. The indigenous Sateré-Mawe people of Brazil quietly incorporate the ant into deep, dedicated cultural rituals, weaving hundreds of living, stinging ants into gloves as a painful test of endurance and dedication for young men transitioning into adulthood. The quiet, disciplined endurance of the participant transforms the extreme physical stress into a majestic spiritual triumph and a profound cultural lesson in dedication and emotional neutrality. The pain is not an end, but a dedicated, necessary passage, an intense moment of transformation that connects the human spirit to the intense, dedicated forces of the natural world. The colossal river turtle, Podocnemis expansa, of the Amazon, is one of the largest freshwater turtles in the world, growing up to 3 feet, or about 1 meter, long and weighing over 200 pounds, or 90 kilograms. These gentle, immense reptiles undertake quiet, dedicated mass migrations up the river to specific, traditional sandbanks to lay their eggs, an ancient, cyclical pilgrimage driven by instinct and the quiet dedication to reproduction. The sheer number of turtles that once gathered was so vast that early explorers described the sandbanks as moving seas of shells. This dedicated, synchronized return to ancestral nesting grounds is a profound, quiet demonstration of the deep, enduring, cyclical rhythms of life in the Amazon's vast liquid heart. The rainforest's constant, profound humidity, often exceeding 85%, is a dedicated driving force for the region's immense biological output and the rapid cycling of nutrients. This dense, warm, moisture-rich air is a perfect, dedicated medium for life, facilitating the rapid growth of plants and the swift decomposition of organic matter, fueling the continuous green engine of the forest. The air itself feels heavy and close, a profound, quiet presence that envelops all life in a thick, nurturing embrace, ensuring that every leaf and root receives the essential moisture it requires for its dedicated, endless task of growth. To breathe in the Amazon is to inhale the dense, moist, life-giving vapor, a quiet, dedicated reminder of the essential connection between water, air, and the abundance of life. The Amazonian rivers host the black caiman, one of the largest apex predators in the ecosystem, growing up to 16 feet, or about 5 meters, long. Its massive, dedicated presence maintaining the balance of its aquatic world. Unlike the more common spectacled caiman, the black caiman is a creature of deep, dark, dedicated waters, its powerful jaws and heavily armored hide making it the undisputed, quiet monarch of the river. Its dark, almost black coloration allows it to absorb the sun's warmth and blend seamlessly into the murky, tannin-stained waters of the flooded forest, moving with silent, immense power. The caiman rests, a patient, dedicated ancient coil of life, its stillness a quiet, profound promise of the enduring, dedicated, and necessary forces of predation in the continuous flow of the ecosystem. The Amazon is home to a unique and dedicated species of tree known as the cow tree, Brosimum utile, which produces a milky, latex-like sap that is non-toxic and surprisingly similar to actual milk. Indigenous communities have historically tapped the bark of this magnificent tree to gather the liquid, which provides a dedicated, nutritious drink rich in fats and sugars, a profound, quiet gift of nature. This botanical phenomenon demonstrates the incredible, dedicated capacity of the forest to provide sustenance in unexpected ways, where the tree itself seems to offer a nurturing, liquid bounty. The tree stands tall and quiet, its very existence a dedicated, generous source of life and nourishment, a natural, peaceful marvel in the dense, green world. The Amazonian manatee, a gentle, dedicated aquatic mammal, is the only species of manatee that lives exclusively in fresh water, navigating the complex river system with a quiet, peaceful grace. These large, slow-moving herbivores have smooth, dedicated dark skin and possess the unique adaptation of having no nails on their flippers, perfectly suited to gliding through the warm, fresh, and often shallow waters of the flooded forest. They spend their quiet lives dedicated to foraging for aquatic vegetation. Their slow, deliberate movements, a calming presence in the deep, slow currents of the river's tributaries. The manatee swims in a quiet, dedicated cycle. Its gentle, immense presence, a liquid symbol of peace and quiet endurance within the river's flow. The tiny leaf miner moth, a dedicated specialist, spends its larval stage quietly tunneling through the interior tissue of a single leaf, leaving behind a winding, visible trace that resembles a delicate, quiet maze. This specialized, internal, dedicated foraging provides the larva with protection from external predators and the sun, allowing it to complete its growth hidden within the very structure of its food source. The delicate, meandering lines left behind on the leaves are quiet, temporary artworks, living maps that record the dedicated journey of the hidden, microscopic life within the immense green canvas of the forest. This small, subtle existence demonstrates the quiet, dedicated ingenuity of life to find and exploit the most secure, specialized niches for survival. The Amazonian canopy is home to the tarantula, a colossal, quiet spider whose presence, though often misunderstood, is a dedicated, necessary part of the forest's complex food web. These massive arachnids move with a quiet, dedicated stealth, often living in burrows or tree hollows, relying on the vibration of their massive, sensitive legs to detect the movement of their prey, which can range from large insects to small reptiles. The tarantula rests, a large, dark, silent master of patience, its entire being dedicated to the quiet art of the ambush, contributing to the necessary balance of the deep, quiet floor of the forest. The gentle hum of the jungle masks the movements of this formidable, quiet, eight-legged specialist, a dedicated embodiment of the small, persistent forces of the undergrowth. The bromeliads, common epiphyte plants in the Amazon, form complex, dedicated tanks or rosettes, with their overlapping leaves collecting vast amounts of rainwater. These quiet, dedicated reservoirs become miniature, self-contained aquatic ecosystems high in the canopy, often hosting entire food webs including specialized insect larvae, tadpoles, and even small frogs that complete their entire life cycles within the collected water. This unique, quiet botanical architecture provides a dedicated water-filled refuge that is essential for species whose ground-level counterparts would be preyed upon. The bromeliad rests, a quiet, dedicated, living vessel of life-giving water, turning the high branches into a mosaic of floating, miniature, complex ponds. The Amazonian rivers support a remarkable diversity of catfish, many of which are known for their quiet, specialized sensory adaptations, including immense whiskers and an astonishing ability to taste with their entire body. Skin, these dedicated barbels or whiskers are covered in taste buds and allow the fish to quietly and efficiently navigate the murky, low-light environments of the river bottom, detecting the presence of food with supreme dedication. Some species undertake long, dedicated migrations upstream to spawn, a colossal journey guided primarily by scent and the gentle, liquid chemical signals of the water. The catfish moves along the bottom, a quiet, dedicated living sensor, its entire being tuned to the subtle whispers and tastes of the slow, dark current. The curare vine, Chondrodendron tomentosum, found in the Amazon, is the source of a powerful muscle relaxant historically used by indigenous tribes to quiet and subdue their hunting prey. The active compound, a powerful alkaloid, acts by dedicatedly blocking nerve impulses to the muscles, leading to quick immobilization without causing suffering. Modern medicine has quietly synthesized and adapted related compounds, such as tubercularine, for use as a dedicated muscle relaxant during surgical procedures, showcasing the profound, quiet influence of forest chemistry on global healing. The vine climbs with a silent, dedicated tenacity, its sap holding the quiet, powerful secret of profound relaxation and the dedicated suspension of physical action, a quiet gift of the forest. The Amazon's immense green presence plays a critical, dedicated role in global oxygen cycling, often referred to as the lungs of the planet, though this is a poetic, not literal, description of its service. While most of the oxygen produced by the trees through photosynthesis is quickly consumed by the dedicated respiration of the plants themselves and the massive army of decomposers, the sheer scale of the forest creates an enormous, concentrated chemical engine that balances vast atmospheric processes. This continuous, quiet, colossal production and consumption of oxygen is a dedicated, necessary force that balances the global atmospheric exchange, demonstrating the forest's profound influence on the entire planetary system's ability to breathe. The forest rests, a living chemical engine, its presence ensuring the quiet, dedicated stability of the air we all share. The Matamata turtle, a unique Amazonian reptile, possesses a flattened, dedicated, camouflage-rich shell and a triangular head that perfectly mimic the appearance of submerged, decaying leaves and bark. This dedicated stillness allows the turtle to lie completely motionless on the murky river bottom, waiting with a quiet, immense patience for fish to swim near its mouth, which it opens with a rapid, dedicated vacuum action to pull the unsuspecting prey inside. Its entire being is dedicated to the quiet art of the ambush, turning its own body into a piece of the inanimate river environment, a living example of profound, dedicated specialization. The Matamata rests, a silent, still master of disguise, its slow, patient, dedicated life, a reflection of the deep, quiet rhythm of the river's slow flow. The Amazonian canopy is home to the glass frog, a small, delicate amphibian whose ventral skin is dedicatedly translucent, allowing a quiet, partial view of its internal organs, including its beating heart and digestive tract. This remarkable, quiet transparency is believed to be a dedicated form of camouflage, helping the frog blend seamlessly into the green background of the leaves, where the light filtering through makes the subtle outline of its body nearly disappear. It rests, a dedicated living optical illusion, its small, visible internal life, a beautiful, quiet reminder of the fragile, dedicated complexity hidden within the simplest forms. This quiet, dedicated transparency allows the heart of the tiny creature to be observed, a fleeting, profound glimpse into the dedicated biological engine of a life lived on the underside of a leaf. The immense biomass of the Amazon rainforest contains a staggering volume of water, with the total moisture held within the plant life exceeding the water held in the Great Lakes of North America. This colossal, dedicated reservoir of liquid, stored in the trunks, leaves, and intricate root systems, is not static, but is constantly circulating through the dedicated process of transpiration, moving from the soil to the sky. The forest rests, a giant, dedicated liquid storage unit, its massive, porous body absorbing the relentless rainfall and slowly releasing it, shaping the regional humidity and rainfall patterns through its dedicated, continuous labor. This deep, quiet dedication to storing and recycling water is the very essence of the forest's self-sustaining power and its immense, quiet influence on the atmosphere. The Amazon's trees are dedicated masters of rapid leaf decomposition, a crucial process that ensures the quick return of nutrients to the shallow root system in the nutrient-poor soil. Due to the high temperature and constant, dedicated humidity, fungi, bacteria, and insects break down fallen leaves and wood with astonishing speed, often consuming a fallen branch within days or weeks. This rapid, dedicated recycling is the cornerstone of the forest's ability to sustain its colossal biomass, acting as a dedicated, continuous cleaning system that prevents the loss of essential chemicals to runoff. The ground silently and dedicatedly works, consuming the fallen in a rapid, dedicated embrace, fueling the living canopy with the quiet, necessary resources of the past. The Amazon is home to the jaguarundi, a small, sleek cat known for its dedicated, unusual, unspotted reddish-brown or dark grey coat, making it look more like a large otter than a typical jungle cat. Unlike the nocturnal jaguar, the jaguarundi is primarily dedicatedly diurnal, hunting during the day with a quiet, efficient, terrestrial focus, often catching small mammals, reptiles, and birds in the underbrush. This dedicated preference for daylight and its more terrestrial habits allow it to occupy a distinct, quiet, specialized niche within the same environment as its larger nocturnal cousins. The jaguarundi moves with a quiet, dedicated, liquid swiftness through the low cover, a sleek, efficient specialist dedicated to the rhythm of the sunlit hours. The river system is fed by thousands of tributaries, but the three largest, the Negro, Madeira, and Japura rivers, contribute massive, dedicated, distinct flows of water, each with unique chemical and sediment signatures. The Rio Negro, or Black River, is famously named for its dedicated, dark, tea-colored water, stained by dissolved organic matter and tannins from the forest floor, which flows alongside the pale, muddy, sediment-rich waters of the Solimois River before merging. This visible, dedicated contrast at their confluence, known as the meeting of waters, persists for miles, demonstrating the immense, dedicated volume and distinct chemical personalities of the massive liquid flows, they flow with quiet, distinct dedication, eventually blending into the single, majestic, massive current of the great river. The Amazonian tapir, the largest land mammal in South America, is a dedicated, quiet, herbivorous presence that plays a crucial role as a forest gardener and seed disperser. With its distinctive, dedicated, short, flexible prehensile snout used for grasping leaves and fruit, the tapir moves quietly and deliberately through the dense undergrowth, consuming vast amounts of vegetation and seeds. These seeds are then dispersed widely in the tapir's droppings, often miles away from the parent plant, a profound, dedicated act of planting that ensures the propagation and genetic mixing of the forest flora. The tapir moves with a quiet, shuffling dedication, its continuous journey across the forest floor an essential, quiet engine for the perpetual renewal of the deep, green world. The Amazon helps make its own rain through immense transpiration, creating flying rivers of moisture that rise from the canopy and drift west across the continent. Trillions of leaves draw water from the soil and exhale it into warm air, where winds shepherd it toward the Andes and beyond, to fall again as rain over distant plains. This airborne flow does not outmatch the river's liquid discharge. It complements it, an invisible branch of the same cycle. In this way, the forest is not merely acted upon by climate, it participates in shaping it. Each afternoon cloud, each evening shower, is part of a quiet circulation, roots to leaf to sky and back, that knits together trees, soils, winds, and mountains to watch mist lifting from the canopy at dusk, is to see the forest breathing, a patient rhythm that steadies the air above it and shares moisture with lands far away. The poison dart frog, though small, exhibits bright, dedicated aposematic coloration to warn predators of its potent toxicity, which it acquires from the forest's dedicated specialized insect diet. The vivid blues, yellows, and reds are not meant to be camouflage, but rather a profound, dedicated, and unambiguous signal of danger, a visual warning that evolution has perfected into a quiet, efficient deterrent. This dedicated chemical defense system means the frog can move relatively slowly during the day, relying on its striking appearance for dedicated protection. Unlike most secretive, camouflaged amphibians, the tiny frog rests, a quiet, dedicated jewel of biological caution. Its dedicated beauty, a powerful, silent, chemical proclamation of its defensive power. The anaconda, the largest snake in the world, is not just defined by its immense size, but also by its dedicated viviparous nature, meaning it gives birth to live young instead of laying eggs. The quiet, massive female carries the developing embryos internally for a gestation period of several months, providing dedicated protection and nourishment until the young are fully formed and ready to survive in the watery world. This dedicated reproductive strategy increases the survival rate of the offspring in the harsh, unpredictable flooded environment, demonstrating a profound, dedicated commitment to protection. The mother rests in the quiet, warm waters, her immense coiled body serving as a dedicated living incubator, patiently waiting to release the next generation into the slow flow of the river. The canopy walkways erected in various Amazon regions allow scientists and visitors quiet, dedicated access to the highly specialized life of the upper levels, which was previously nearly unreachable. These dedicated suspended bridges and towers offer a unique vantage point, revealing a hidden, vast world of dedicated life that exists entirely in the filtered sunlight and high humidity of the branches, dozens of feet or many meters above the ground. This quiet, dedicated access has revolutionized the study of canopy biology, revealing thousands of new insect, plant, and bird species that rarely descend to the forest floor. To walk among the quiet, swaying crowns is to witness the Amazon's most dedicated hidden city of life, a floating ecosystem of unparalleled complexity. Primates are among the forest's great gardeners, not chiefly as pollinators, but as seed dispersers. They swallow fruits whole, travel, and leave seeds far from the parent tree, often deposited with a small packet of fertilizer. Where light and space improve a seedling's chances, true primate pollination does occur in unusual cases. Yet it is rare. Their larger gift to the forest is distance, carrying tomorrow's trees across gaps, streams, and sunflecks where young roots can find room. The journey of a troop through the canopy is therefore more than foraging. It is quiet planting, a moving bridge between generations of fruiting crowns. The vast river system is the dedicated, exclusive habitat of the candiru, a tiny parasitic catfish, infamous in local folklore for its small size and tendency to dedicate itself to host animals. This miniate fish utilizes a highly specialized, dedicated mechanism to locate and latch onto the gills of larger fish to drink their blood, demonstrating an astonishing level of dedicated parasitic adaptation to the liquid environment. While the frightening tales of the candiru are often exaggerated, its quiet, efficient, dedicated existence serves as a biological reminder of the extreme specialization and dedicated survival strategies present in the Amazon's complex, unseen depths. The tiny fish swims with a dedicated focused purpose, an almost invisible, dedicated force in the immense flow of the river. The Amazonian howler monkey possesses one of the loudest animal calls on Earth, a deep, dedicated, guttural roar that can travel for over 3 miles, or nearly 5 kilometers, through the dense forest. This dedicated, powerful vocalization is not used for violence, but for the necessary dedicated defense of territory, allowing groups to quietly mark their boundaries and avoid unnecessary stressful physical conflict. The sound rises and falls with a deep, dedicated rhythm, a booming, majestic proclamation that defines the group's space and ensures the peaceful, dedicated separation of rival families. The quiet jungle vibrates with this immense, dedicated sound, a natural, profound testament to the power of sound itself to manage the quiet, necessary organization of the social ecosystem. The Amazonian water hyacinth, a free-floating aquatic plant, is known for its astonishing, dedicated growth rate, forming thick, green mats that can completely cover large sections of slow-moving river and lake surface. This rapid, dedicated propagation is a double-edged sword. While it provides habitat for some specialized aquatic life, it can also dedicatedly deplete the water's oxygen levels, leading to quiet, necessary, and localized environmental shifts. The hyacinth floats with a dedicated, serene beauty, its violet flowers resting above the surface, its rapid spread a quiet, massive demonstration of the extreme dedicated efficiency and growth potential of life in the nutrient-rich, warm, and sunlit waters. The Amazonian ocelot, a beautifully spotted cat, moves with a quiet, dedicated, nocturnal grace, its immense eyes specifically adapted for efficient hunting in the perpetual twilight of the forest floor and night. Unlike the massive jaguar, the ocelot dedicatedly hunts smaller prey, focusing on rodents, birds, and small reptiles, and often climbs trees to rest in the high, quiet branches during the day. Its intricate, dedicated coat pattern provides a perfect, necessary camouflage in the dense, mottled light of the understory, allowing it to become a quiet, dedicated, invisible presence in its domain. The ocelot walks with a deep, quiet dedication, its entire being tuned to the subtle whispers and shadows of the sleeping forest, a small, profound master of the dedicated night. And so, our journey through the breathing world of the Amazon rainforest comes to a gentle close. We have moved with the river's immense, quiet pace, tracing the lines of a colossal ecosystem where the water and the trees are locked in a profound, dedicated dance of life and transformation. We have rested beneath the canopy, feeling the weight of the immense dedicated biomass and the silent, deep communication flowing through the fungal roots, recognizing the forest not as a collection of things, but as a single, monumental, self-sustaining entity whose quiet breath influences the climate of the entire world. The secrets held in the ancient soil, the intricate, dedicated alliances between the smallest insects and the largest trees, and the constant, quiet pulse of the water, all affirm the enduring, dedicated power of life when given the time and space to evolve into its most complex, majestic forms. Allow the sheer, immense scale of the forest to remain in your mind, a quiet, soothing presence that gently pushes away the small, immediate anxieties of the day. The Amazon flows on, a continuous, dedicated promise of life and renewal, a sleeping green giant whose profound dedication to endurance offers a peaceful sense of stability and awe. You are now resting with the quiet knowledge of this immense, persistent power, a small, safe part of a vast, complex, and gently breathing planet. If you happen to still be awake, that's perfectly all right. You can simply lie back, let the music keep flowing in the background, and drift in and out of the story at your own pace. But if your eyes are heavy, let the stories of the Amazon rainforest and the gentle music carry you softly into rest. Sleep well. Good night.